Hey everybody, it's Donna Morgana coming to you this week on Cinema Corner, and today we're going to talk about the movie Clifford, the Big Red Dog. What a great movie. Does it sound familiar? Well, of course it does, because you probably watched it on television as a kid, and now they're introducing it, Clifford, as a movie, and introducing it to a whole new generation. Your kids. So what a great idea. So here we have Clifford. It's a movie. We have Emily, our star, that was also in the television show, and the movie begins without her having Clifford. So she is a middle schooler in New York City, and she goes to some fancy schmancy private school on a scholarship. She's kind of getting bullied at school because the other kids have enough money for their parents have enough money to send them. So she's on a scholarship, so they kind of give her some heat about that, but she's handling that okay. So, and to kind of make matters a little bit worse, her mom travels all the time because of her career. So she's left in the care of the whimsy uncle, Uncle Casey, who is Jack Whitehall. He is the man that was also in Jungle Cruise that played the comic relief of one of the characters there too, and he does a great job in this movie doing the same thing. He is hilarious in this movie. So he's Uncle Casey. So here she has an unemployed, whimsical, carefree guy that's in her, that's supposed to be taking care of her, but it ends up she's the more mature of the two. So here's her platform. So here she goes off to school one day to New York with Uncle in tow, and there's a rescue tent over there in the park, but she wants to go see all the animals that are in this rescue tent. She knows she can't have animals because her building won't allow it, but she wants to go look at the animals anyway. So here we go into the tent, and it's a magical rescue tent. So John Cleese from Monty Python plays Mr. Birdwell, the curator of the tent. So he plays a very soothing style in there, and it's just very comforting when you walk into the tent. But he has exotic animals. He's got baby cheetahs, he's got a baby giraffe, he's got little baby cute monkeys and all that. But in this little basket there's a red dog, a little bitty puppy in there, and it loves Emily the minute he sees her. So she loves it too, but she knows she can't have it, and she gives it back. So having a bad day at school that day, and then coming home to unmotivated Uncle Casey, she's feeling a little bit despondent. But in her bag, all of a sudden, there's a little magical little whimper in her bag, and she opens it up, and there is the little puppy, and he is just squirming and loving her all over the place. So she falls in love with it. She's not giving it up. She wants it. It provides the warmth she wants. She names it Clifford, and before she goes to sleep, she says, "I hope you become big and strong, and you can protect both of us." So that night she had a little bitty red puppy. The minute she wakes up the next morning, she has a ginormous, huge, big red puppy. It's a big dog, but it's still a puppy. So now she can't keep it a secret. Uncle Casey and her are deciding what to do. What are we going to do? Let's take it to the vet because we don't know what's going on. So they take it to the vet. And so on the streets of New York City, here we go with a huge dog. And so we don't know what's going to happen. So when they get on the street, half the people don't want to get involved and just kind of look over here and just kind of, hopefully they don't have to be involved or look at it or anything. And the other half is taking pictures and posting it all over the place. So now the internet's kind of having a little sensation about this huge dog. Yeah, it's real. It's not in a Photoshop. It's real. So I'm getting something kind of starting to happen here. A little following is beginning. So now on the way to the vet, there's a big park called Central Park. And so Clifford sees this. It's a big open space just made for him, and off he goes. They have no choice but to follow him. He plays with everything. Everything's a play toy out there. Everybody's taking pictures. It's being posted. It's starting to get viral. It's starting to get a little crazy. So as we go forward, the news media is starting to pick up on this, and all of a sudden, it's on the 12 o'clock news. The supervisor of the building sees them and says, "Oh, you're evicted. No more. You can't come in here anymore." So there's boo-boo number one. So now, also, here comes evil lurking into the plot. Life Grow goes, "Oh, look at that. It's a huge dog." Their job in Life Grow is to get research to make animals bigger to feed more people with one animal instead of using 4 or 5 animals to feed the same amount of people. So they want the DNA of Clifford because that will help their research, if not make it where they want it to be. So they call the police and say, "Hey, one of our one of our animals got out of the lab. Can you help us get it over there? It's that big red dog. So off everybody goes. We got Life Grow, we got authorities, we got the media, we got followers, we got them. Everybody's after Clifford, Emily, and her uncle Casey, and they're having trouble trying to keep ahead of everybody. So off we go. The chase is on. Now, at school, since she didn't get to go to school that day because she has Clifford to deal with, one of her friends, her only friend, Owen, sees what's going on his phone and says, "Hey, Emily, take Clifford to my apartment. I'll meet you there and we'll figure out what to do." So they go to Owen's apartment, and of course, it's a beautiful high-rise luxury New York apartment, and Clifford's so big he just wipes out a whole bunch of antiques the minute he gets there. So it's chaos wherever they go. So the dad goes, "You know what? I have a ship. We can take him out to the ocean and take him to one of my farms that I have elsewhere, and then they can't get to him." So Emily reluctantly says, "All right, I'll part with Clifford to save Clifford." And it's heartbreaking little moment where her and Clifford have to part. But Life Grow intercepts what's going on here and takes him from the ship and takes him to their lab. She gets wind of that, and it's not going to happen under her watch, so she breaks into Life Grow, gets Clifford, and breaks him out of the lab, and off they go into the streets of New York. She rides him like a horse and just gets him all the way through as far from Life Grow as she can get. And through the streets, over fences, and finally back to Central Park. And magically, there's the tent from Mr. Birdwell. He's in a different part of the park. And she finally finds him and says, "Please make Clifford small again. I want him as my puppy." And he goes, "I can't do that. Your love is what made him big. So your love is what's going to have to make sure you can find a solution for this." So she thinks for a minute, and so now everyone has gathered around her and Clifford. It's got the media, we got crowds, we got Life Grow, we got authorities, we got everybody taking pictures and selfies. And it's already all over the entire United States what's happening right here in this little corner of Central Park. And she just says, "Stop. Clifford, just because he's different doesn't mean he's not loved. He needs to be accepted into our community, even though he's different, and just be part of the fabric." While she has captured the crowd and everybody is on her side. So Life Grow has no chance of ever getting Clifford into their labs ever again, because no one's going to separate this little girl from her pet. So she wins, and she gets all this acclamation from everywhere and news coverage, and it turns out to be a great ending. She's popular in school. The building supervisor goes, "Hey, this might be a good opportunity for me to have good media on my building, so I'll go ahead and let them back in my apartment, and I'll find a place for Clifford in our building." So that's what happened. It was a win-win, and she has Clifford for the rest of her life. Now that's pretty much the storyline. And I'm going to tell you, it's cute, it's whimsical, it's fun, it's fluffy. There's nothing complicated about this story. It's a win-win. So it's a live action with CG computer graphic dog, so it has a little different feel than you would use a real animal. Of course, it's a huge animal, and you're not find it like that. But on top of that, in the television show, Emily talked to Clifford. In the movie, Clifford doesn't talk at all. He is totally quiet except for some puppy whines and whimpers. And even though it's a CG dog, you still kind of feel mushy at times when he is in danger a little bit, or kind of just on the edge of something, and he may hurt himself. You just get kind of edgy a little bit because you feel for him, because those puppy whines are pretty drawing. They kind of draw you in, so you kind of feel for the character. I think they did a good job on that. So I think Paramount did two great things. Number one, they got this 12-year-old that's a middle schooler, and they had her allow her to think on her feet and be able to find solutions to help Clifford get out of situations. And I think she just kept trying, and she kept winning and get inched into the better part of the solution and the results that she wanted, but she still had to overcome other obstacles as they happened. So I think they did a great job showing that she could think on her feet. And number two, I think they did another thing where all solutions that you apply are not always instantaneous results. So she had to keep upping her game to see what she can do better to get Clifford out of those situations, and just keep thinking on her feet and rolling with it and finding a better way to do things than just that one way and giving up. So she just kept going and going. So I think they did a good job on that. So I think it's a good, fun movie. It's a PG movie, more G than P, in my opinion. I think you could throw it in there. I didn't see anything wrong. I thought they did it. It's a modern today stuff, so all the applications that we deal with are in the movie, and it's a fun movie. It's pretty cute, and I laughed out loud a few times. I know it's a kid movie, but it still was pretty funny. So because adults are making the movie, but it's still pretty funny. So you'll have a good time watching it with your kids. So introduce Clifford to your kids, because you were introduced it when you were a kid, so you'll have a good time with it too. So this is Donna Morgana saying, have a good day. Go see a movie with your kids. And Cinema Corner come back with you with another great kids movie. See you later. Bye-bye.